long-form open discussion podcast. Topics include sensitive issues such as sex, religion, politics, race, gender, death, BDSM, MFN, CFNM, MMF, MMFM, and healthcare. Do not try this at home.
Get your motherfucking ass up when I'm talking.
So hold on tight. The action starts now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
And here we go.
And here we are. We are live. I'm excited, and here's the weird thing. So you know how I'm a goofy-ass white boy, and I'm fucking super obsessed with hip-hop culture?
Well, even if I didn't know the moment that I heard you, I could have pieced that all together to stereotype your voice by race.
Like, I am a closet hip-hop fan.
I believe
right?
it.
Like, and I know a lot of hip-hop shit. I pay attention to it. Bro, I was listening to Mobb Deep this morning. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So, R.I.P. to... The one guy.
Damn.
What was it? Havoc and fucking who's the other? Prodigy. R.I.P. Prodigy, who choked on some eggs in a hospital, I believe. I am fucking obsessed with Tekashi 6ix9ine and the whole thing surrounding him.
I believe it. Now, is it the thing surrounding him, or does he appeal to you with that luscious rainbow hair?
I'm not gonna lie. He looks like a gay unicorn.
Yeah, I mean, do you kind of like want to nut on that 6ix9ine on his head? Is it like like
what?
a
No, here.
card,
So,
like,
so here's the thing. And I'll put you the timeline. Hold on. Let me do a shot of my yak. Shout out to Oak Heart Spiced Rum. I'm drinking, and they're not paying me for it. Right? As they say, may pass through the gates of heaven a half hour before the devil knows you're dead. Gotta get my yak. All right. Here we go. Timeline of Tekashi 6ix9ine that rhymed on a dime. What? So I'm obsessed. So I like rap. I like hip hop. I appreciate it. I appreciate
Everybody
lyricism.
likes fucking rap, especially white people. They the ones buying.
I love Jurassic 5. I love Talib Kweli. I love Common. Mos Def. I love all that shit. I like Big Timers. I like Birdman. I like Clips. All that shit. So a couple years ago, unfortunately, we had an incident because of the internet where a bunch of kids kind of skipped a step. You know when you're trying to get somewhere in life, right? And you struggle. Well, they kind of skipped a step.
So they didn't go through the true development phase, is what you're saying?
No, they didn't earn their stripes. They live with their parents. You know what I mean? They were raised in like a lower to middle class. They grew up watching Tupac and Ludacris and shit like that. They're like, yo, I want to rap. Some of them have like degrees. Most of them graduated high school. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm talking about mumble rappers, and. These because of SoundCloud, these guys. Shout out to SoundCloud. We're on SoundCloud. Look us up. These guys started putting out songs, which is fine. That's how things are. We're doing a podcast, so we don't have to go to radio stations to hire me. So I guess I really can't give them too much shit for not paying their dues. It's a new generation. Pepsi, a new generation. And these guys and women, they just made music and then uploaded it to the cloud. And there is just a nebulous amount of these motherfuckers, right? And they all took the monikers Lil, right? And then some of them have like YNM or whatever before or after their name, and it stands for, it's got the N-word in it. In my opinion, they're kind of goofy-ass names, but, Sir Mix-a-Lot, whatever. And I started watching, Double XL, the magazine.
I've heard of it.
All right, so.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about
XXL, right?
Yeah, I thought we was going into rapper names, nigga, and you just threw some shit at me.
You don't know Double XL, yo, you ain't up on this. And I bought I spent $400 on this just to be like, you ain't up on this. Anyways.
Yeah.
And so I started watching XXL Freshman Class, and what they do is have these mumble rappers come in, and they spit ciphers, right? Mm-hmm. And most of them were fucking terrible. Mostly, specifically Kodak Black, who looks like an ugly ass emoji you would use on your phone to convey constipation, but whatever. He looks like a mammy doll. And I know this is going to bite me in the ass one day in the future when I'm trying to get on Saturday Night Live, but whatever. He sucks,
somebody
dude.
Gonna slap that ass.
He sucks.
But
he
you know,
sucks.
the podcast is authentic, nigga. And if you fucking liquored up and you felt like you needed to touch back and say some gangster ass shit on your obsession of rap, well, do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and if one day I try out for Saturday Night Live and Lorne Michaels is like, "Well, we want you on the show," until they find me call fucking Kodak Black an ugly ass mammy doll. Anyways.
Damn.
And amongst the toxic cloud of these rappers,
yeah,
one of them emerged that was so aesthetically different than any of them that, like, as soon as I saw this motherfucker, I had to start, going down the rabbit hole. I had to do my research, and his name is Daniel Hernandez, better known as 6ix9ine, Tekashi 6ix9ine. For those who don't know, you got to be retarded, but he's a young, he goes by Walla Dan. Anyways, he's a young Hispanic boy that grew up in Brooklyn with aspirations of being a famous rapper, and he has long rainbow-colored hair, a rainbow grill, and 6ix9ine tattooed all over him.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I loved 69, even though it's socialism.
Oh yeah, well he better love 69 too, because that's what he's trying to get out of.
Well, so here's the thing, just to catch everybody up on speed here. So going back to these guys didn't pay their dues, and by that doesn't have to mean you're going out to the Apollo playing shows, pulling that Travis Scott thing where you're at a fair, a local county fair, playing in front of 10 people. Some of these guys tried to escape the streets, the gang life, and used hip-hop as a way to do it. But unfortunately, young Mr. Hernandez used the streets to gain credibility. Mm-hmm. And I'm not one to accuse somebody of this shit, but he didn't really have the heart for it. He just wanted the glitz and glamour of being a gang member. Treyway, Real Damu, Bloods, right? And I imagine Brooklyn, New York's got some pretty fucking hardcore Bloods. So, it's he hung out with a bad crowd. Clearly, they used him as like a money play. You know what I mean? They're like, fuck this goofy motherfucker. Let's just, we'll just lift him up because he's got some attention, and we'll just get some money off him, and we'll pretend we like him and stuff. So he did some shit with him. He got roped into some stuff. Yeah. And he was most famous for so in 2015 he attended a party in Harlem where they were like shooting a video or whatever, and then there was a girl who was 13 years old who did some stuff, and then he uploaded it to Instagram.
Child pornography, nigga.
So she was, but this is the culture. She clearly was all for this because she wanted to be accepted. I guess she didn't have a father, but whatever. That's how it goes. So he was kind of known as like a pedophile or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know how it is when it comes to like famous people, that kind of gets a pass the first time. So he's got notoriety for that, and then he writes a song. I don't know if he wrote it himself, but he put out a song called Gummo, which is, as he described it in court, a diss track. That's what we call it, right? He's got a very metal, harsh way of rapping. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of screaming at you. He's like the AC/DC version of hip hop.
Yeah, I got you.
And he's a little tiny guy, which is sad. He's not he's not tall and built. He's just this tiny little person. He's out there. Anyways.
You think that's why he snitched?
Hold on. Let's not ruin the surprise.
Okay.
So, here comes 2018. And he chokes a fan out in a mall. Because he said he was being harassed. The fan allegedly said he looks like a gay ice cream truck. I wanted to add that in because, fuck, man, that's right up our alley. 2018, a brawl erupts outside L.A. International Airport. You're importing people. And he uploaded the video of the fight. And then fast forward April 3rd, 2018. The CEO of Rap-A-Lot Records, most famously known in the song by Biggie Smalls, "Not From Houston, But I Rap a Lot," Flava in Your Ear, Craig Mack. Anyways, was robbed at gunpoint in the lobby of their office. And it ended up being members of the Nine Trey, which is a blood sect in Brooklyn that Hernandez was part of. He said that he filmed the robbery. And then, so fast forward, right, to May. He's charged with misdemeanor assault. Fast forward May 20th. He gets, let's skip all that. That's crap. Let's go here. Chief Keef, another rapper, in June 2018, is shot at outside the W Hotel in Times Square. It was another alleged gang incident. And it is purported that Tekashi he did order the hit on Chief Keef, offering $20,000 to whoever did it, which it puts into perspective, because I've seen $20,000 in cash. What I've been doing the past couple years, I've seen a lot of cash, and there's easier ways to get $20,000 than doing something possibly put you in prison for the rest of your life or face the death penalty. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, in your perception, but a lot of niggas, they see $500 a month. 20 stacks sounds like a whole lifetime of money, and it's really not. You know what I mean?
But you got to imagine. But think about this: like somebody who's going to do this was obviously in the lifestyle, and gangs are there. This is in the 80s when gangs were there just to it was a social thing. I think now it's more of like a lightly organized crime syndicate kind of thing.
I guess.
And so they're this guy. They're using.
I get what you're saying though. You know what I'm saying?
They're using rappers. Yeah. They're using rappers to as a money play, as a cash cow.
Yeah.
That's why Lil Wayne, even though he's incredibly rich, still shots fired at his Miami mansion during a party. Like, okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Aaron Hernandez. You could have had $40 million and won a couple of Super Bowls, and all you had to do was not kill people. But whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder how he's doing, by the way. Fast forward July 22nd. On the same day, he releases Fifi, a collaboration with Nicki Minaj. Hernandez is pistol whipped, kidnapped, and robbed after shooting a video in Brooklyn. Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I've been doing this long enough. Hernandez gets indicted on federal charges, including armed robbery and racketeering, which is never good. Mm-hmm. That jumps a step. That's not just like drunk driving. That's not like beating somebody up outside a bar. You're now in federal court, son. The feds are now part of this. And for anybody that knows, the feds will burn your ass. Most people do not have lawyers good enough to fight federal charges. No. Because they're going to get you. I heard this. I don't remember where I read it. Apparently, he was in like Manhattan lockup when he was arrested after the indictment, and he got G-checked. You know what G-checked is?
I just figured they would pull his card, check him, beat his ass,
Yeah.
square off.
Tried to check his temperature and see where he's at, right? And allegedly, Mr. Hernandez did not back down, which you gotta give him some props for, right? Little short Mexican kid, rainbow hair, stands his ground or doesn't flinch or whatever, and whatever makes you pass the G check. So basically, he gets in trouble, and that he fires his entire team. He's got no manager, no booking agent, no publicist, no PR. Right, it's just him. Cancels his tour. Gets rid of everybody. So he's arrested, and basically, long story short, goes to federal prosecutors and immediately says he's going to become a state informant. Because they come to this kid who was never part of like the gang life. He wanted to be accepted. He was.
It kind of sounds to me like he was trying to validate so he could sell records to try and infiltrate what he was really portraying that he wasn't for no other apparent reason than money. And so in order to back himself up with the story he was trying to spread to the world. The nigga wasn't smart enough not to get caught up in the situation he was caught up in, and now the nigga flipped.
He did, because he was facing 47 years, I believe. 47 years?
I don't know what he was facing, but...
Which is a lot of time.
Well, the nigga knew he was, if he'd came up and he'd understood a lot more of the situation. I mean, he had to have had enough money to hire an actual legal team that could have, backed him up, but they wouldn't have needed an informant on anything if they had any evidence on anybody. So the fact that they needed an informant was, their scare tactic of all them years worked.
Well, there it is. So here on February 1st, 2019, Hernandez pled guilty to 9 charges. He was due to be sentenced on January 24th and possibly face a mandatory sentence of 47 years in prison. 15 days later, a plea deal document revealed he could avoid jail time in exchange for his willingness to testify against fellow gang members. So, here we are, after that long-winded spiel.
Yeah, nigga, that shit was 20 minutes long.
So here we are, Daniel Hernandez. We're only 17 minutes in. Anyways.
I know.
6'9", was facing like 50 fucking years in federal prison.
6'9" is gonna have to go in the witness protection program, and then I don't even know that he's gonna be able to pull that off. I'm gonna be honest, because I don't know that the people he gave up were probably good enough to set him up with the same financial well-being that he could have had if he wouldn't have been out there acting a goddamn fool and just ran with the rapping, because there was enough people would have bought his dumb ass shit that nigga wouldn't have had to do nothing ever anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hold on. I got a revelation for you. As of 2 days ago, from Vibe.com, Tekashi 6ix9ine may refuse witness protection.
I don't know.
And
you're right though. He probably come out and be a rapper, and everybody be like, yeah, he done snitched everybody. He hard enough to come back out, and they gonna lift his bitch ass up anyway.
So here we are, and let's talk about it. Well, he's 23, 24, whatever.
Yeah.
He's got a baby mama, and obviously a baby because of that title.
Yeah.
He had an up-and-coming career.
Yeah.
All he wanted to do was be famous. I'm sure it's one of those things where he was like excited when he was in it. He got the adrenaline rush, but then when you realize the things that come with it, like slapping the biggest guy in the bar, sounds fun until you realize that some actual pain might come from it.
Yeah.
So there's this kid that was just trying to make it in the world. All of a sudden, he's sitting in a fucking room getting sweated by a bunch of white dudes in suits that are like, we're not the fucking sheriff's department or the crash squad. We're the fucking federal government. We will bury you so far under the fucking jail that nobody will be able to rape you because they won't be able to find you. And they absolutely can do that. He cannot fight the law and win. So he's scared. He's thinking about his daughter.
The nigga might have been a goddamn plant from the beginning.
Well, allegedly, they caught him on tape fucking... Or there was a tape of, Jim Jones, the rapper, talking about some crime. So allegedly he was wearing a wire, too, at some point.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The nigga probably been a narc the whole time. You know what I'm saying? He was probably a plant, and the nigga probably just ran with that shit. You know what I mean?
But he's got a baby. He's got, pretty sexy little mamacita. He's not about that life. He's like, look, I have a career. I'm a rapper. I'm not just fucking on these streets wearing a red bandana trying to be like, yeah, oh, right? And they said, bro, you got 47 years, but you might not have 47 years, and all you got to do is point some fingers in court. And this dude's like, yeah, because I'm 23. 47 years, that means I'll be like 70 when I get the fuck out. That means my entire life will be spent protecting these people who didn't give a fuck about me in the first place.
That's what you better think before you come out goddamn Rainbow to fuck up with a grill making goddamn rap songs and at the same time riding around with niggas doing shit that you ain't got the backbone to carry. You know what I mean? What the fuck did you think was going to happen?
So let's look at this little schism, the little microcosm here of what you just said. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say a lot of these guys, they're all about it. They're ready to pull the trigger. They're about their fetty, about that paper. But until you're sitting there in front of a grand jury and they're talking about the rest of your fucking life, and say you're not a rapper, say you're not going to have a fucking big legal team, that a record company puts out for you. Mm-hmm. Say your fucking ass is sitting there and they're like, we're going to cook you and we're going to bury you and you're going to be nobody. You're going to be some old black dude wearing one of those fucking Muslim doily hats 50 years from now, probably talking to 2020.
Yeah, maybe not, man. Maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Because you can beat it on technicalities. I mean, you can run it back up the food chain. You know what I'm saying, man? It's a lot of shit, man.
I'm not talking Meek Mill getting fucked over by the judge.
If they're offering you like 40 years, he probably could have played out like 5.
Yeah, but who wants to do 5?
A nigga that's riding around with guns doing dumb shit.
I spent probably a total of 6 months in jail in my life, and that shit sucked. It is boring as fuck. I hate being bored.
And it's boring. It sucks and it's bored, but nigga, when you're doing things, you know what I'm saying, and this goes way back. Americans are criminals, and there's a criminal nature to Americans. It just is what it is, especially when it comes to getting ahead. So you got to, if you do that, you got to understand, there might be some time coming with that money. It's fucked up as this because a lot of shit don't deserve the time that it gets, but you need to put the money up for the fucking lawyer, and if you ain't got it, well, then you better know how to negotiate. So, because that's all it is. Nobody wants to spend the money on the trial, not you, not them. You know what I'm saying? They want you to walk in there and make a motherfucking deal, go sleep in your rack for however many days you got, and then go home and be done.
It's just a weird thing for acceptance, when you look at like the street life and you're just like, I'm not going to get a regular job. That's for suckers. No,
that's not true at all. That's not true at all. A lot of people really, there is no fucking jobs. There is no fucking, in the jobs that there is, whatever the fucking minimum wage is, even if you do it by the time you get taxes, you don't even have enough to put fucking gas in the car if you got it, or buy a fucking bus pass. What you get, 1 cigarette, a free Mountain Dew, wherever the fuck you work at, and then you can only live on the food stamps and the rent subsidies that you may get, but you're probably not getting because you're probably already a fucking felon. You know what I mean?
And to that, sir, I counter with Damon John.
Mm-hmm.
Damon John he's the dude from FUBU, the guy from Shark Tank.
We're not talking about one fluke in a sea of many. You know what I'm saying? Like, They some bitches that can come out here and fuck 1,000 niggas and not get pregnant till she get married. You know what I'm saying? And they some bitches that gonna get the belly.
Okay, then I give you
You know what I mean?
Jay-Z
So, what I'm
grew
saying
up in
is
the
we can't
Marcy
talk about a
Projects.
fluke of nature. You know what I mean? Yeah, fluke of nature. He was a criminal, and he didn't necessarily get caught to enough of a standard that would amount to anything. So, some motherfuckers in a situation.
Are you talking
where-
about Damon
and
John?
I'm not condoning. I'm not making it right. I'm talking about some people. Some people are in situations where it is what it is, nigga. You gonna feed your family one way or another. You gonna feed yourself one way or another.
I get it,
You know,
but
if
I'm
there's a
saying
job,
what he
if
did
there-
was
there-
he sewed 90 hats for with his next door neighbor and sold them outside of Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. That's still a fluke, is what I'm saying. You know, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's some of these things you would have to see. I could spend 3 days talking about it, and even in my most articulate hour, I would never be able to adequately portray the shit that other motherfuckers see and live daily. You know what I'm saying? You just.
I think it's kind of like that. I don't know any other way to put it. Have you ever seen The Hurt Locker? That movie about the explosive ordnance disposal guys in Afghanistan and Iraq or whatever.
No, I ain't seen it.
And the whole movie, it's got Jeremy Renner, and he works for EOD, and he's disarming bombs in Iraq and stuff like that. And by the end of the movie, he goes home and he's doing that normal life. He's cleaning fucking leaves out of the gutter. And like in the next scene, he signed back up for another tour in Iraq because normal life was boring. And it's the same thing what you see in combat soldiers, and they get back to normal life, and it's like you punch a clock and do this, and you're not carrying a gun, and you don't. They call it camaraderie, which I don't totally buy into because it's like, I mean, you can have people that have your back. I think it's more of like the thrill of the hunt. I guess is the best way I can put it.
Look,
I think some of these guys like the thrill of the hunt.
That again, that's a different perception, right? So some you gonna have that. You're gonna have the excitement. You're gonna have adrenaline. With some things, some people, man. Some people are just 12 years old in a fucked up situation that they never asked for, and they left to fend for themselves. And then it becomes a routine. It's like this line of good, bad, right, wrong. It's like you start to cross that line one toe at a time, but before you realize that line don't even fucking exist. But all you was doing was feeding yourself. But the situation, the scenario, grew so big, so wide, so fast that nigga, you caught up standing in front of a white man that you don't even fucking know, telling you that you going up the road. You know what I mean? It's some people just they want to do fucked up shit. Some people don't. This fucking rapper, no, he didn't. He wanted to legitimize himself with a banner of something that he had no even bearing to be involved with, but he decided to do it. And
they say there's no old gangbangers. There's no old gangbangers.
He wants other people to carry his motherfucking water for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the way it fucking works, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's not the way it works. I mean, you carry your own motherfucking water. You know what I'm saying, nigga? You want to drink, you want to eat, nigga, get your own food. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's what a lot of people have to do. I mean, it's not about shoes, rims, cars, chains. For motherfucking, some people, it's just a bag of motherfucking grits. It is something other than chicken legs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you think about it, like if you say it like that, then you got the guy, the 9 Trey gang members who were using him to get their thing. So they were.
Yeah, well, look, nigga, if
they were carrying his
money,
water.
Nigga, you got money and you come down here and you got a bunch of tattoos, nigga, and you got a bunch of money, nigga, but you ain't really about that, nigga, but you want to ride, nigga, and be cool and buy your way in. And I'm fucked up on money. You probably, nigga, you know what I'm saying? You can pay to play, nigga. Yeah, let me get that money up at you, but if, yeah. I mean, I don't know what the fuck, nigga. I mean, do you. That's all I know, man. Do you. You know what I mean? But if you in that life and you got the money, put lawyer and bond money up. You're going to have it.
I just think it's a weird. I think it's an interesting situation because then I try to put myself in a situation like that. And then, you come up with that bullshit adage from the streets. You're like, snitches get stitches. It's like, okay. But at the same time, hip-hop community is like, well, stop portraying us as like gangsters and stuff. Okay, and it's like, well, stop excusing crime. Like, that's the difference between the white and the black cultures. Like, white people will snitch on each other left and fucking right. And then you got hip hop culture, like, well, stop portraying us as pimps and drug dealers and stuff. And it's like, well, then stop getting mad at people turning you in because they're trying to make their communities better.
Yeah, I don't think it has nothing to do with making their community better. People turn their shit in because of their own idealistic point of view most of the time, man. It's like, because a nigga got caught on some shit and he don't really want to do his time, so he'll tell on another nigga. I mean, that's just what it is. You know what I mean?
But I wouldn't go down for somebody that was just using me.
Yeah, but if you paying niggas to go shoot another motherfucker, who's using who at that point? You know what I mean?
Well, that's not what he got in trouble for, though. They were just
of things.
Apparently they were just using him.
He got in trouble because he made himself too live. He went out there running his motherfucking mouth, trying to push some street credibility or whatever to make himself valid in a community, to surround himself and get people on the songs and shit like that, so to get the money. And but he got caught up a little too fast. Like I said, man, when you get off that freeway, it can go real fast, man. And then there'll be a curve, nigga, with no sign because somebody took that bitch.
It looks like they saw him as the weakest link in the chain and found that way to get to him. So it seems like it seems like they probably had been after this gang for a while.
It sounds like almost like, they may have planted him from the beginning, and this was all a facade and a character.
No, Gummo's a good song.
Okay.
Actually, it's not. It's a terrible song. He says
I don't know, nigga, but on to some other shit. Listen, I went to the store earlier. I had never been to one. It's called Rural King.
You never been to a store?
A Rural King. You ever heard of it?
You gotta spell that for me, sir.
Rural, like a rural area, like a country area, rural.
Well, to me, in 89% of the country, it sounds like you're saying rule, S-R-U-L-E.
All right. Anyways, look here, okay? Because I didn't grow up in the Midwest and talk through my fucking nose. It may be difficult. Okay. So, anyways, this goddamn like a Tractor Supply and a Walmart had sex and had a love child, and this is what came out. Okay.
So, Tractor Supply.
So I'm coming out this fucking store, and there's this dude with this dog. And I'm like, damn, that's strange. They let animals in this motherfucker. So I walk in there because I'm curious. I want to look for a grill. And
are you wait? A grill like to cook on?
Yeah, a grill to cook on, not like a fucking rainbow grill like your boy 6ix9ine. No, a grill.
Okay. I'm clarifying because we have white listeners.
There's this young child, a girl and a boy. I don't know. They probably had to be about 8 years old, give or take. And the little girl's talking about, there's dog crap. And the boy's like, what? And she's like, there's poop all on the floor. And I'm like, this dog done shit in this fucking store, nigga. And I was thinking to myself, man, that nigga was leaving kind of fast. And this Amish dude's walking by, and he just starts laughing like he can't contain himself. And, and I'm trying to picture this motherfucker at his, his house with his lanterns and shit, recanting the story to, retelling the story to his people and shit. But I'm thinking to myself, what type of nigga lets his dog squat and shit in the middle of a motherfucking shopping center, okay? And one, expect people to clean it up. Two, just fucking leave. But three, stand there while this dog scrunches itself up to drop motherfucking shit in the walkway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what type of motherfucker does this? You know what I'm saying? And like, I mean, because there's no way that the dog just was walking and shit like a horse. You know what I'm saying? Like this nigga had to scrunch up, push a pile. You know what I mean? Stretch out and walk away. And this owner was obviously cool with it. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of, it blew my motherfucking mind. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I mean, I don't know. White people. That's all I can really say. White people, because obviously it was a white dude. Because You talk what you want about hip hop culture. I don't think any of them motherfuckers would have let a dog just shit in the. They'd probably thumped in the head. You know what I'm saying? What kind of motherfucker let a dog just shit in the middle of a motherfucking store, nigga? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it was this dude, so I guess I do know, but I don't know this motherfucker. He just let a dog shit.
Dog will hunt.
Shit.
That dog will fucking hunt. Man, you live in a weird place.
So, and then I'm gonna touch on something else. Then you're telling me in this hip hop community and the differences, and in the white community trying to clean up the neighborhood, and then immediately while you were saying this, I replayed the conversation that we had, moments before the episode kicked off, about impoverished white people and the amount of trash that they produce,
which is a lot.
Okay, I don't think they're trying to clean up the neighborhood.
No. But there are, to be fair, there are 4 or 5 Mexicans.
No, look. There's absolute fucking 100% stereotype. That is exactly like the best description of a stereotype you just ever gave me. Was the difference between like rappers saying "Don't try to make me out to be a drug dealer and a pimp," and white people turning people into the police to try and clean up the neighborhood because they want to clean neighborhood, nigga. That is.
Oh, I'm not saying clean in terms. I'm not saying clean in terms of like spick and span. I'm saying like if they're tired of having people call them criminals.
I know.
And then they let crimes go. Here's another thing.
People, look. White people commit just as much crime as black people or brown people or fucking American people.
Well, there are a lot of shootouts at the country awards.
Some people know they poison each other at the country club and they molest each other.
I said country awards. They're snatching chains at the CMAs.
At the club, country club.
No, they're snatching chains at the CMA. Here's another point on that.
Buying,
so
at the CMA, they're paying people's Walmart layaway off, and then they're flying to somebody's private ranch and having sex with fucking 6-year-olds. That's what the fuck they're doing.
Which is also gross.
Okay.
Here's another thing. Remember, Repeat Offender Podcast, tired of everyone's shit.
Everyone's shit.
I follow World Star Hip Hop.
Yeah, you're a top fan, ain't you?
I'm a top fan, in fact.
Yeah.
And they posted something. I think DL Hughley reposted it too. And I thought this was a weird distinction. Are you eating fucking Tootsie Rolls?
Nigga, it's a fruit roll up.
It sounded like a Tootsie Roll. I guess I don't know my sugary candies.
I don't know, man. I've been thinking about not eating it because it might make me smack niggas.
Is it?
Don't get me like on the cheeks, nigga, and kind of juicy, but like.
Is it the one with the shapes you can pull out?
Almost like a pang in my jawbone, thinking about how it's gonna be kind of sweet and tangy at the same time. Nigga.
Damn, you're making my mouth fucking tart thinking about that.
Nigga. I'm gonna wait, nigga. I'm just saying, nigga.
So I got another.
So tasty. It's got stripes in it.
I got another equivocation for you. So I read something. They like to post a lot of bold statements. I love bold statements.
Yeah.
I love bold blanket statements. Yeah. That said, a lot of black kids grew up in rough situations in the hood and didn't grow up to be mass shooters or serial killers. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Trying to separate themselves from white culture, trying to say, well, white people are mass shooters. But now, I'm not defending white people because, like I said, fuck everybody. Mm-hmm. Here we are talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine, and what is he in trouble for? Ordering a hit on people. What? Even though a lot of it's bullshit, what does a lot of gangster rap and hip hop culture talking about? What happened at Lil Wayne's fucking thing? They're shooting and killing people.
6ix9ine's fucking Mexican.
Yeah, but he says the N-word. Remember, white people can't say it. Yeah. Asians say it. Asians say it. That's the worst. Yeah. That's worse than white people saying it.
Look, everybody shoot people. All right, look, niggas in the hood, they just...
No, they do. They absolutely do. So what is the difference between... say, who can I think? Adam Landa.
I think what they're saying, look, I think what the statement, I get what you're saying, and you're taking it at how it's written, but to me, I get what you're trying to say. But the truth is there's a lot of difference in some fucking pimple-faced fucking white kid with fucking, ADHD meds goes and shoots up a fucking public place for no apparent reason other than he don't feel validated because his daddy took his fucking Fortnite the fuck away. You know
other than a guy,
and then he's seen some bad fucking Fox News shit, and then you have a boy that fucking came up and real talk doing this shit for food.
Well, what I'm saying was, what is the difference between what is the difference between the crazy? What's the difference between the crazy white boy on ADHD medication that shoots up a school and kills 12 people, and Crazy K from Marcy Projects, who's the fucking baddest dude on the block, who's got 9 bodies on his under his belt? Nothing.
Yeah, the nigga from the Marcy Projects was probably doing it to feed his fucking babies, and the fucking little pimple-faced kid did it because his mommy told him no.
So murder's murder. Taking lives.
Look, nigga, if me and you were buying kilos of cocaine from the Mexican plug, there might be some trouble that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? But because a nigga take your goddamn Fortnite away, nigga, you mad and you seen some shit and you want to blame the world and whatever the fuck's wrong with you today, and you gonna go shoot up a bunch of innocent people at a fucking store, or a movie theater, a church, whatever the fuck it is that you happen to pull into because you're sad, nigga. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that, nigga. The only honorable thing you could do at that point is eat the fucking bullet yourself.
So you're saying that?
I'm saying that if I live in extreme poverty and you come to try and take my family's money, nigga, I'm gonna body your bitch ass. That's what the fuck's gonna happen.
No, I get that. I get that. Hold on.
You come up in my shit. You come up in my shit and try and harm me, my family, any of it, nigga. I'll beat you to death with a banjo. You know what I'm saying?
I get
whatever
that.
The fuck I can put in my hand. That's what I'm saying. That's the difference.
Lack of
face little white kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you 16. Why you still riding a Power Wheel?
Lack of prepositions aside. Stephen Paddock. Now calm down. Let me just talk about it because I know you're deep into conspiracy theory. I know that conspiracy theories set you off. So calm down. Let me finish.
That's so funny. White people get so uncomfortable when a nigga get excited.
Calm down. No, because listen, by the way, and I'm going to say Stephen Paddock, and I'm going to preface this by saying there is video of him walking numerous times into his suite. Anyways, Stephen Paddock, the guy who went up into the Mirage Hotel, or MGM, was it MGM? In Vegas.
I don't know.
From an elevated position, busted out a window, and started laying bullets down to a country concert.
Yeah.
Right? He wasn't pimple-faced kid. He was actually a wealthy guy.
Yeah.
Just started laying waste to people, trying to enjoy shitty music. I know a guy. I used to work at a country bar. I know a guy. Now personally, I've met him a couple times, but he was the guy that, like the former Marine that fucking stole somebody's truck and was like picking people up and like people that were hit and taking them to the hospital. So he was there. It was a thing. Dan Bilzerian, the fucking the Instagram playboy that has all the chicks with fake tits that are like up on his jock because he's rich. He was there when it happened. And of course, since he's Instagram famous, of course, he was filming himself running away from the thing, which is so telling of society. Because he's like, I'm going to upload this and get fucking 5 million views. Killed 60 people. And not the outside of the Indians.
I don't get how.
Well, he wasn't a pimply faced whiny mama's boy. He was a angry dude.
What it almost sounds like is that he didn't develop out of that pimply fucking teenage white boy whose nuts are barely dropping. He just realized he had 3 hairs and he might be going through puberty. That's what it sounds like. He was stuck there mentally.
I'm not buying trying to protect your family because, like I said, like Bobby Shmurda, C Murder from fucking whatever the Hot Boys or whatever. Those motherfuckers are just killing people.
He was no limit. C Murder.
No limit. They're just killing people, regardless of they're like okay. Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez was mad at someone.
Look, real talk. Like
was
when you
mad
get
at
two
someone and
niggas,
killed
when
him.
you get two dudes, white, black, brown, fucking, Australian, British, not Canadian, but and shit gets confrontational, somebody's gonna wind up with their ass beat or bodied, you know what I'm saying? Or unless somebody separates it or somebody catches themselves real quick before they do something real bad, you know what I'm saying? When people get in a threat situation, that is completely different than some middle-aged wealthy motherfucker that can't adjust to reality, fucking shoot people out of a fucking window. You know what I'm saying? You're talking two completely different scenarios.
I'm not even saying scenario. I'm saying deciding to take a life because of your reactions.
Reactions to shooting into a crowd of people and shooting a nigga who's trying you and calling you a bitch, and drawing a line in the sand and shit escalating is two completely different fucking planets.
From a car driving by them.
I don't know nothing about car driving by. You said
Rearrange those words. Rearrange those words. Drive by.
You said see murder. You said see murder, and then you said the white dude from the window.
All I'm saying is, besides the semantics of it, it is killing people. It's killing people.
Death is never good. It never has been. You know, I mean, that's a severe step. You know, and life's cheap, man, especially in poor areas. So, I mean, like I said, it's easy for a motherfucker to chill and judge situations and try cases in the media. You know what I mean? But there's a stark difference in a life where, you live and die by the gun, and then a motherfucker who don't know how to cope with reality because character was never forged in him, so he melts the fuck down and shoots 100 people.
C. Murder in 2002 was convicted of beating and the fatal shooting of a 16-year-old fan.
In a club, it wasn't. See, you can say fan and this and that. In a club, there was a situation where somebody was tried, what is that? 1971. They beat the fuck. They beat the fuck out of him. And somebody shot him.
He was like 32 and shot a 16-year-old.
But you see, it's the same thing going back. 16, 32, age don't matter when death comes and when you got young bull and old bull. That shit don't matter. Teenagers are hotheads, man. Teenagers are hotheads. I'm not saying what he done was appropriate. That's a huge difference. And they getting in a fight and then somebody shooting in that group and a motherfucker shooting out of a window. Two completely different fucking worlds.
See, here's what I'm saying. I'm putting it in the same category as a guy getting pissed off the world and finding a way to take out a bunch of people, and a guy who's calm down.
Are not well adjusted.
A guy.
People
hold on.
handle it.
I'm going to challenge that statement. And a guy, a 32-year-old, who doesn't like his pride tested, pulling a gun on a bouncer because he can't be in the club. That sounds just as petulant as I'm mad at the world. That's your pride tested.
Look. If you shooting a 1-on-1, look. I'm not saying that scenario is right. Well, I'm not even. I don't even know where that's at. But listen,
these are all C murder things.
Different. That's completely different than a motherfucker shooting a fucking rifle out of a goddamn fucking high rise. That's
then getting mad and pulling a gun on someone.
Look. When character is built under pressure, right? And a lot of these, middle class people, and I'm gonna say a lot of white people, because that's the narrative that's being pushed. That for some reason, white families have progressed beyond statistically in more numbers, and they're more affluent than blacks and Mexicans, and a lot of right.
A lot of these rappers have Wikipedia.
I think a lot of white people, man. I think a lot of white people, people in general, people when life gets easy, right? When they don't have to worry about groceries, when they don't have to worry about the car breaking down, when they have mom and dad both in the house, and they go to church on Sundays and Wednesday nights and go to camp in the summer, and they don't build. There's no struggle in their life, so they don't build a lot of the coping mechanisms that could be important too. You know what I mean? So,
well, here that's an important thing you just said.
Being affluent and spoiled is just as dangerous as being poor and desperate. You understand what
Well,
I'm saying?
okay, so here's the thing. I find that interesting because since you've been talking, I've been clicking through the rabbit hole of hip hop artists associated with C Murder. Going for Young Thug, Lil Boosie, Pimp C, Young Bleed. Every one of them has a Wikipedia section titled "Legal Issues."
Yeah.
Hold on.
You mean like the entire bottom 30% of the United States has, if they had a Wikipedia, it would say legal issues?
So hold on. I want to test this theory. Now let's think of like a white person, a famous white person, who came from nothing, literally
Look,
nothing.
Look, I'm not even gonna go down this road with you because I think right now that no matter what, and this is what I said a while ago, that even if I sat here for 3 days and kept the microphone on, that I would not do justice to the things that you could truly only understand that if you walk through the shoes, if you lived in the neighborhood, if you carried that water, you know what I mean. So you can't you're talking about two completely different. You can't say two people who are famous if the background story is not the fucking, identical. You know what I mean? Like, a nigga who invents fucking ceiling fans might not be the same as a nigga who made his family money off of gangster rap. You know what I mean? So that's not even comparable. Everybody in our government's fucking treasonous fucking murderers. The church leaders are fucking molesting kids. Pastors are embezzling money. School teachers are fucking fondling kids. Police are planting drugs. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? And people are fucked up. I love humans, but people are fucked up. People are self-serving. They're greedy. They're obnoxious. They're just not good humans, man. Real talk. They're not good humans.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. Here we go.
Go ahead.
Robert Johnson, Bob Johnson. God damn, you were the worst half-black person I've ever met. Bob Johnson's the founder of BET. You can't get blacker than this guy. Bob Johnson was born in 1946 in Hickory, Mississippi. You couldn't probably find a poorer situation than Hickory, Mississippi in 1946.
Okay.
As a black man. The 9th out of 10 children.
Mm-hmm.
His goddamn father was a farmer.
I don't know where you're going with it, but...
Right, he came up out of a poor, shitty situation. Let's look at
there's shitty people that came up, all over, but that don't mean that, that anything... I don't even know. Like, I've done kind of lost sight of like what we're trying to get after here with it.
26% of Hickory, Mississippi is below the poverty line, which is huge.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm saying there's more of a causation than a correlation between it. That some of these people decide to hold on to their situation and maybe use it as a character, like Tekashi. Tekashi could be Talib Kweli. He could be Common. He could be Mos Def. He could be these rappers.
People, real talk. Very few people sell drugs because they like it. Very few people rob people because.
No, I know.
It.
What's his name?
Very few people ever put their hands on another human.
Tupac.
Because they like it. You know what I'm
Tupac said he never did a crime he didn't have to do.
It's just. It's
his stomach hurts.
To sit, like in air condition, you know what I'm saying, and
how dare you? I have a fan on
and shit, you know what I'm saying, and be like blase, you know what I'm saying, but like real talk, nigga, when you go in the refrigerator and there ain't nothing but a half a bottle of generic hot sauce in that motherfucker, I mean, shit, nigga gotta eat, man. You know what I'm saying? Go get your money,
Well, this guy did. Bob Johnson did. He ended up graduating Princeton.
Most people look at all these motherfucking, these corporations that were, just started. I don't know which one. I don't know if it's Bear or not. but they were all in the opium trade. A lot of these, older companies, a lot of people that we have as idols in this country historically, were mass murderers, drug importers, rum runners. The Kennedys made their money from fucking illegal liquor, so and prostitution and shit. So racketeering, money collecting. It's easy to separate and draw lines when you're missing half the story. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a meme you posted a while back about somebody was saying something about Narcan being free, and this person complaining about the price of insulin, and then the thing had said don't use one person basically to justify this other situation or whatever, and ask the real question, why is your fucking insulin $800 a month? You know what I mean? So.
Well, I think you missed the point of that.
That's the same scenario, though. You know what I'm saying? It's the same scenario. It's real talk. Why the fuck is your insulin $800? Why you blaming this addict over here that's getting Narcan? Because like drug abuse, just like anything, you're gonna have a segment of the population that has fucking problems with any substance or way of life. And you can't blame this other motherfucker and want to criminalize everything. These are social health programs and problems. You know what I'm saying? Not criminal.
No, I feel it. I don't disagree. Yeah. I'm just all I'm saying. If I boil it down, is all I'm saying. There's literally no difference. Okay. Look at the word mass murderer / serial killer, and there's distinctions. Serial killer has the same MO and targets the same. I'm saying there's no difference between somebody who goes and shoots up a school and somebody trying to protect their block to make their money.
It almost sounds like there's a huge difference, huge fucking difference. The motives and intentions are completely in
because at least the crazy mass shooter has like psychological problems.
No bullshit. He just needs
the guy shooting 9 people, okay. 9 people because he's trying to protect his money and his block seems a lot worse than somebody who doesn't
money block family,
who doesn't have like his wiring right.
You're not going to put the context properly in that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm not saying that this is 100% a blanket coverage of what I'm saying. But a large percentage of that is exactly what the government does for the oil cartels and the fucking the Chinese factories and shit, and we use Navy ships for it with big fucking bombs and intimidations and stuff like that. So that's the same fucking difference. But this fucking white person that couldn't handle hearing told no, or the girl rejected him, or he was 16 and because he had a dominant father or an abusive fucking mother, or she was a fucking whore, or whatever the fuck the problem is, and he stood there and got so mad that he shit his fucking pants that he decided to go shoot up a bunch of fucking innocent people. It's completely fucking different.
Hold on, Aaron Hernandez, he's got a legal issues thing. Mm-hmm. In 2012, Aaron Hernandez told his agent he got his respect through weapons. Now let's go to how he grew up. Aaron Hernandez, young Hispanic man, was born in Bristol, Connecticut, which is completely bizarre. Looks like it wasn't a bad upbringing, right? But he had to keep it real. You got to keep it real. You can't. What did ODB say? I'll be damned if I let another man enter my center, right? And because of a bar fight, because 2 people were fucking with somebody he didn't like, Aaron Hernandez, a man with a very bright future, killed 2 people. So it's weird because it jumps across the board. It jumps across the board so much.
Humans do bad shit, all right, and that's the point. But this unprovoked non-association to the victim mass shooting is on a different fucking plane, man. It's completely fucking different than a crime of passion, a crime of defense, a territorial fucking dispute, a money dispute. These are all, primarily fucking driven, probably, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm not condoning the violence. I'm not saying that, so don't misinterpret it. But however, that's completely different than mass shooting with no association, to the victim or reason or the causation is not attached to the victims. Just that you wanted victims.
I'm simply saying that it's an issue of choice and emotion. Like C Murder could have 100% moved his family. Like 50 Cent. 50 Cent doesn't live in Harlem. He lives in Connecticut.
No. Mm-hmm.
In a mansion. He didn't stay in the hood. He didn't worry about keeping it real.
No. But that's what I'm saying. But C Murder, that's C Murder was different anyway. Mentally, that nigga he was entrenched in what he knew.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm about to be wrong here. Hernandez was diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is a totally 100% real thing.
I don't know, dog. I'm just too chilling. You know what I'm saying? Look, humans are bad.
They are bad.
Humans are awesome, right? But people are bad, man, and people are in the pressure cooker. And paying bills, and dad, being at work, and mom horn, and taking prescription pills, and drinking wine, and then pushing the baby out. Shit's gonna happen sometimes, man. And some of it's nurture, some of it's nature. But the gun ain't the problem. People are the problem.
Well,
I know you're fucking in California,
listen. I serve my country. I believe in the Second Amendment. I just saying, like. Yeah, it's called a mass shooting for a reason. There's not a mass rock throwing or a mass hammer.
They've had mass bombings, and diesel fuel and fertilizer are still legal.
Right? No, go ahead. After we get off here, the next episode,
nobody's protesting fertilizer.
Calm down. The next episode that we do, I want you to go down this rabbit hole, and I want you to find 50 pounds of ammonium nitrate. And find a way to buy it online.
Okay, so you don't have to buy it online. You go to a fucking store and buy it.
No, even a store. I want you to go somewhere and try to buy 50 pounds.
Semi trucks.
I feel you. They also haul uranium in semi trucks. I'm just saying. Okay. I want you to go to try to buy 50 pounds of uranium or of ammonium nitrate without the background check.
Look. Don't nobody give a fuck. You ain't gotta have a background check to buy fertilizer.
You 100% have to get checked for Department of Homeland Security.
You don't have to have a background check to buy a car. You don't have to.
Not a car, no.
Have a background check to buy a fucking chainsaw. It's just. The list goes on and on. The weapon might change, but humans ain't gonna change. That's the real talk. You know what I'm saying?
No, I 100%. So say you have 10 people. That live in
if a nigga decide he gonna kill people, he's gonna kill people.
Okay. But listen to me. In prison because they have access to nothing else. But listen. Okay. So say you have 10 people that live in the same 50-yard circle, right? Yeah. And there's one dude every day who picks up a rock and throws it at people. Every day. This dude is constantly he's always throwing rocks at people. Eventually, you're going to get to a situation where this dude, we see a rock in his hand, we're going to fucking stop him. Because he cannot handle rocks. We know he's fucked up. We know rocks are everywhere. We know anybody can get a rock. But this dude is not using a rock correctly and has proven time and time again that he can't be around rocks. Now, all I'm saying in terms of when we talk about guns.
So it sounds to me, let me interpret before you give your final point. To me, you just told me that rocks ain't the problem, the human is the problem.
A human with rocks is the problem.
You said the human. The rocks are everywhere, and anybody can get them, but this man,
specific guy...
has a problem with rocks.
Okay, so calm down. Let me finish. And this is always the point I make because people try to say you're a liberal, you got a big dick, you're ruggedly handsome, blah, 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 you want to disarm. That's not true. The disarming people is not true. I believe in the Second Amendment. You have every right to defend yourself. Blah blah blah. The federal government's gonna blah blah blah. You're gonna fucking Ruby Ridge yourself in your house from the federal government. Whatever makes you feel better. Yeah. Goddamn, you made me forget his fucking name.
Because it's not, when you got to dig that deep, the sincerity leaves. We're gonna throw that out there.
No.
Look. Most people are not gonna let the police pry the guns.
No,
out of
and that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
No, stop. Let me tell you what happens, okay? And I've seen it time and time again.
Ruby Ridge.
The police, no, Ruby Ridge is rare, okay? The police knock on the door.
Waco, Texas.
Most people will not stand up to the government. Real talk, okay? Police, whatever, right? The police knock on the house. They're gonna search your house and they're gonna take your shit, and you're gonna comply with them because you think that whatever you're just gonna you've been programmed to follow what they tell you, even though they're intimidating you and circumventing all your rights, okay? And then what happens is your neighbors, okay, who are pro Second Amendment, and they're going to stop them, and the law ain't never going to seize their guns, and blah, 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 blah. And they're like, man, I knew he was up to something. And they watch the police take the neighbor's guns and his possessions and auction his house off. And that's the scenario that'll be played out a bunch of times across America every fucking week. And the community does nothing about it because they think they're law-abiding citizens and they got to have warrants and they don't have no reason to get a warrant and blah, 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 blah until they get a motherfucker like 6ix9ine. And then it's like,
okay,
Joe down the road did it. Joe down the road sold me a bag of weed. Joe down the road hit his wife. Joe down the road, blah, 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 blah. And then they kick his door in, right? And then they do like they fucked up where I came from, and they served a warrant on the wrong fucking house at like 2 o'clock in the morning and kicked in a woman's door, and she was a middle-aged lady, lives alone, and she came out of bed with her pistol that was permitted and everything, and the police killed her, all because they served the warrant at the wrong fucking house. You see what I'm saying? So, no,
So, anyways,
fuck.
The Navy Yard shooting, Aaron Hernandez, the fucking Aaron Alexis.
Yeah.
That's a bad name, Aaron, by the way. One of the rare mass shootings perpetrated by a person of non-Caucasian ethnicity. This man had, and I'm air quoting right now, accidentally shot his weapon into the upstairs apartment of where he lived, right? And the police were called. And when the police responded, Aaron had told them...
We've talked about this before.
Aaron had told them, I hear voices, right? Long story short, blah, blah, blah. Aaron was still allowed to walk in and purchase a shotgun, a handgun, a Remington 850 Express tactical shotgun, and 2 boxes of shells, and then walked into a naval facility.
right.
Hold on. Then we have the Charleston church shooting. Dylan Roof.
Okay, so look, I gotta stop you right there because I can't contain it. So what the fuck you gonna do? You're gonna punish and expose and fucking rape everybody because
No, not at all. Here's the thing.
Up?
Because no, that's conjecture. What I'm saying is because people, it always comes down to you're going to disarm people. First off, let's put this point out: the people who love guns, who have guns that want. No, there's not. But the people who have guns and love guns and want guns have guns. So we're not talking about disarming. There's no person's ever talking about going into somebody's house and removing their guns simply because they have them.
But like simply because, but then you stop making, you stop selling, you stop allowing.
Right. So
you stop transferring, you stop.
So listen, Colt.
That's a slow road to fucking hell.
So
that's
Colt.
all it is.
That's also conjectures. So Colt, the manufacturer Colt, said they're going to stop manufacturing AR-15s. Right.
Of course they are.
But there's also hundreds of manufacturers that make AR-style guns. Whatever, I don't care. You can have whatever you want, whatever makes you feel like a man. You should be able to have. But all I'm ever saying about guns, is that there are several examples, enough to take notice with a highlighter on a piece of paper, of examples of mass shooters who have shown instances of instability and was overlooked.
Yeah, but that again, that brings us back to your point. The rock wasn't the fucking problem. The human was.
Human with a rock is what my point was.
Yeah, but that's not how you worded it. You know
I
what
said
mean?
so that person,
you said-
if somebody
you
sees
said
him with a
there was
rock,
rock
they should have a
everywhere.
problem with him. You stopped listening after I said
Because
there's rocks
he had
everywhere.
No, you said he had proven time and time again he couldn't handle the rock. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he should not have been allowed to have a rock.
No, not
You
at
know what
all.
I'm saying?
But
Now-
I didn't
now-
say they should go up to every person with a rock and say you
because-
shouldn't have it.
Because other people, yeah, but that's what all these rules and shit does.
No,
okay?
what I'm
It's a
saying
way
is the
to-
rules
it's a way to
aren't being followed.
disenfranchise.
The rules
It's a
aren't
way
being
to-
followed.
It's a way to disenfranchise and make second-class citizens. So
Dylan Roof, right?
there's plenty of rules being followed. Look, there's plenty of rules being followed. Look, there's a lot of people have a problem with alcohol and they get in cars and they kill people, right? But that don't mean that they can't buy alcohol. That means that they're a fucked up individual. You see what I'm saying?
Right, but then drunk driving laws get stronger, which is a weird thing.
But the drunk driving don't stop. You see what I'm saying?
But the laws
They
get
don't
stronger.
stop.
The laws get stronger.
Okay, and they're pointless. And then you have illegal stops and searches and seizures on the side of the road that result in very few DUIs. So it's a people problem. It's not the vehicle problem.
Okay, so here's the other one that I was talking about. The church shooting, which, by the way, is a weird correlation that people were shot in church. And then there's also a large percentage of people that believe that people shoot people because we took God out of the schools.
That's because people are looking for answers in situations where they can't rightfully grasp the concept of what's really happening.
So listen to me. I 100% believe somebody has every right to defend themselves. Dylan Patrick Kelly, you're going to be a killer if they identify you by your middle name too. Shot and killed 26 people in a church. Dylan Patrick Kelly was dishonorably discharged from the Air Force, which disqualifies you from gun ownership.
Yeah.
However, the Air Force, a federal military branch, didn't really put in the paperwork to pass this down. So he was legally allowed to purchase firearms.
Look, so we'll go back to the whole in a country of this many people and stuff, Sean, there's gonna be a lot of cracks, and the cracks. I mean, I think we do a pretty good job as a nation, even though a lot of the states are fucking just fucking chaotic with their answers to the problems, but that just make people miserable and leave and cause poverty. But neither here nor there on that part. You're always gonna have, just like I'm pro drug, right? And what I mean by
like
that,
all drugs.
If you want to use drugs, right?
True.
It's your personal responsibility.
But if you choose
it
to
causes
sell them
harm,
to the public,
okay, if it causes you harm, and stuff like that, that's kind of on you, right? Personal accountability and responsibility. You know what I mean? But most people can use drugs socially. There's going to be people, no matter what, for whatever reason, lack of education, lack of awareness, depression, fucking, it runs in your family, whatever the fuck the reason is. There's always going to be a segment of the population that has a problem with every fucking thing, no matter what. But to create an overregulated, far-reaching, fucking pointless, just bureaucracy of fucking finger pointing continuously, all it does is draw lines and separation deeper, and it does not solve the problem, because again you're still leaving the human in the equation. Okay. And the human
now
is
I
the
agree
final
with you.
point.
I agree with you. So I'm clarifying all this because, like I said, when it comes to talking about things like this, people stop listening and they only cherry pick things out of what people said. Now I want to clarify for the fourth time. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe you have.
I understand you do.
I have a gun. I have a gun. I have a gun. I have a gun to
But
protect
I
my
think
family.
I think you not as bad as a lot of Americans, but I think that you.
Here you go.
Like a lot of
Watch.
other people,
You're gonna misinterpret what I'm
a
saying.
lot of other people, no, you like a lot of other people think that if only we had this rule, or if we communicated on this level. Or if we done that, then that would prevent a lot of, and I don't think that's true. Because no matter what, parachutes, no matter what catches you put in place, there's still going to be that one individual who is clever, that one individual who can 3D print, the one individual who can buy a grinder, a fucking, a bandsaw, a wire feed welder, and fabricate.
I do. Here's the thing. I do not disagree. Just listen to me. Calm down. Just listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I do not disagree. I'm being actually kind of nihilistic about this point.
Yeah. I think you like to bring up argumentative points.
No, calm down. Calm down. Listen, calm down.
Chaos.
No, I don't. Listen, because talking about this creates chaos because nobody wants to listen fully. Listen to me. What I'm saying. Give me a minute and 4 seconds.
All right, go.
I 100% believe in the Second Amendment. Every person has the ability and the right to defend themselves, their property, and their family. If somebody comes on my property, I would grab my shotgun. I would load the slug, the birdshot, and the buckshot. I would fucking take you out. And if I ran out of fucking ammo, I would sit on your chest and I would push my thumb through your fucking eye to defend my family. I'm saying everybody is wrong. Everyone's wrong. Both sides. No law, no extra laws, no extra guns will prevent these things at all. I agree with you on the statement that people will find a way. All I'm saying is that both sides have 50-50 correct points. Yeah, there are some situations where some fucking Texan has a gun and he shoots somebody and saves them. On the other side, on the other 50%, there are many situations like Columbine where the shooters had higher caliber weapons than the actual police officer on campus who engaged them before they got to the school. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that there are laws where somebody is prevented from getting a gun and it discourages them. There are situations in which somebody is prevented from getting a gun and they obtain it in illegal ways. Basically, what I'm saying is that, yes, gun laws don't work. Also, some gun laws aren't even being used or followed because you have very, quote-unquote, patriotic people who are like, well, I'm not just going to go take his weapons. Well, then you end up having the Sutherland, Texas shooting and the Navy Yard shooting. I agree with you that people are going to be evil. I guess what I'm trying to say is this is going to happen no matter what. Every point of rhetoric has been disproven on both sides. Well, more people need to be armed. Well, more people have been armed. The Pulse nightclub shooting, an off-duty officer engaged the suspect and did not stop him. Columbine, an officer engaged the suspects, did not stop him. Then you have the Beltway sniper. Nobody could have stopped them. No one. No amount of weapons could have stopped the Beltway snipers. The Vegas shooting. Every fucking person at that country concert could have been armed. No one would have stopped him.
No.
So all the rhetoric is wrong. And we're in a situation where because we have the Second Amendment, because people are allowed, because we have gun culture, because I worked at a country concert or a country bar, and people used to regularly go out to the desert if you live in the western United States, or I guess any rural area. People like to go out in sleeveless t-shirts that say Obama can't take these guns. And they like to just randomly fire into the woods because they it's their primordial nature to hear a gun go off and it makes them feel better. And they just randomly shoot and they take pictures and they post them on Instagram. But because you like to do that, because you like to have a giant gun collection, people are dead.
That ain't why people are dead.
People are dead because humans are fucked up. That's just, nigga, they use the guillotine, they use poison, they use fucking death.
I mean, Japan and Australia has significantly far less deaths than we do. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I'm saying, and we have one of the largest fucking, economic fucking gaps in the world. We have, a fucking largest amount of fucking, hours worked and depression levels and materialism and unattainable fucking, expectations of wealth. So there's a lot of, you can't just, cherry pick, one statistic and lay it over. You know what I mean? So.
Well, there's also a thing too.
You got America is a huge country with various segments of population, and though we are all American, the culture is extremely different. Political views are extremely different. Life experiences are extremely different. We're not like a lot of other countries that are kind of uniform, and their beliefs and even down to our food and seasonings and flavors and accents, and I mean we're extremely complex. So. It's hard to use blanket expectations and problem-solving abilities that don't exist. You know what I mean?
That you did say a good point that I like to point out that I think is important. That people don't take into consideration. So they're always blaming Chicago, New York, L.A. Well, these are very highly and densely populated areas, and I think population plays a huge part. A huge part. You're not going to take 20 million people in Los Angeles or whatever it is. It's pretty big. And just relax the gun laws and say everybody can have a gun, because that, once again, both sides, the rhetoric.
I'm going to be real with you, dog. I used to be a criminal, right? And
we're all repeat offenders.
So what I'm saying is I would, if I knew you had a pistol.
No. Hey, wait. Hey, hold on. You say it like Plies. Say it like Plies. Say it like Plies, motherfucker. You're from Florida.
I'm just saying.
Pistol.
Listen.
His pistol's heavy.
I would be less likely to engage you because of the chance of conflict rising very rapidly. Because I don't really want to hurt you, and I don't want to catch the charge if it's unnecessary, and that's what I'm saying. So I can see that if you have, you're aware of people being armed, you're less likely to be handled by the average criminal. Now, if somebody has been fucking your old lady and they beefing with you, the pistol probably don't matter. But
you ever heard that song? What is that song?
Passion.
What's that song? Guilty Conscience.
Crime of passion. You're talking about a crime of passion and then money motives. It's two different worlds. You know what I'm saying? So.
Guilty Conscience, the song by Eminem, Dr. Dre. He's working all day. He comes home. He sees his wife fucking somebody else.
I don't know. I don't pay attention too much of Eminem.
Are you fucking dude, bro? I'm gonna go, bro. That fucking song came out like it came out a while ago. I guarantee you listened to it. What?
Look, I probably listen to it. Like I said,
1999. You listen to it.
Some of Eminem's music, you know what I'm saying? But like a lot of his shit, man, like I said, I don't really relate to a lot of what he says. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't my experience. And most of my music that I listen to, some of it I just like, but like the vast majority of what I listen to is relatable to my eyes, my life, my feelings, my experiences. So, that's where the connection for me comes. You know what I mean?
You listen to Guilty Conscience. You know what I've been listening to? Superman by Eminem.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say some other shit.
No, I've been listening to that lately.
I woke up the other morning, and I couldn't hear nothing but Bob Marley.
So one of the guys I work with is Jamaican.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him today because we were doing a cleanup, which is where stupid motherfuckers clean out their barns or their garages that they haven't cleaned out for 5 years.
Yeah, your boat pickups.
And they park on the street, and we have our trucks and our bins and everything, and there was like, oh, here I have fucking 400 pieces of fucking or vinyl siding that I've been storing until this moment. But anyways, motherfuckers.
Y'all don't burn shit up there? Them niggas in the country don't burn shit?
Fuck no. They wait. Jesus Christ, one guy. Dude, I caught one man lying. The man had to be like in his middle 50s. He's a liar. You think when you're in your middle 50s, you stop being a liar. This dude showed up with a bunch of rotted wood, like disintegrated rotted wood, where it's all just a bunch of pulp and then some pieces of wood. And I was like, dude, did you did somebody dump this in your trailer with a tractor? He's like, no. I was like, you're telling me that you hand scooped all this in your fucking trailer? No, you purposely put this in your trailer, brought it to us, and now we have to fucking spend 45 minutes pulling, like, scooping it out of your trailer, you piece of shit. But anyways.
Yeah.
Fucking assholes. So all you general contractors out there, and I'm air quoting really hard, general contractors, you guys who never became fucking state legal, but you're like, I know how to put up molding. Fuck you and the youngest child in your family. Anyways. Talking to this guy, he's Jamaican. Really cool guy. His name's Chris. And I like talking to him because I'm in a part of the country that doesn't have a lot of diversity.
Yeah, and I can hear that because your accent is getting stronger.
It is. It is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, at the Moose Lodge,
over the past
right?
2 years, over the
I will
past 2 years, your accent
fucking
has grown
stab
back.
you in your chin beard. Listen to me.
Yeah. You really sound like the same dude.
Fuck you. So I was talking to this guy, and I told him that one of my for anybody that's listening and you, my number one favorite song of all time, and this is well thought out, it never changes.
I ride a Segway.
Is I Ride a Segway by 21 Pilots. No, so Toots and the Maytals and their version of Country Roads. I fucking love that song. It's my favorite song of all time. I listen to it and it calms me down. It makes me feel better. You ever heard of Toots and the Maytals?
I don't know. What's the name of the song?
Country Roads by Toots and the Maytals.
Country Roads. Sing it. How's it go?
You know the John Denver song? Country Roads?
Maybe
It's
so. I don't know.
Country roads take me home to the place I belong.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the reggae version, dude. It is my hands down, without a doubt, number one favorite song of all times. And it got this dude excited because some reasonably handsome, goofy white boy came out and was like, yeah, that's my favorite song of all time. I listen to it to calm me down. We'll get pulled off of YouTube for this, but whatever. Hold on, ready?
Yeah, listen.
Almost heaven, West Jamaica, orange mountains shining from the river, huh?
All my friends there.
Rolling out the beach, younger than the mountains, rolling like a pea, country road, take me home. Favorite song of all time, right? And this dude was excited. And then I started talking about, I like the song 5446 is my number by Toots. And then we started talking about how Sublime, the band, is basically a giant cover band. 80% of their music was just covers of other songs. And so it felt good, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I felt good, in this sea of white camouflage hats and fucking canned domestic beer. It felt good to talk to somebody that was from a different part of the world, that had a different outlook. And for a first time in a really long time, I felt good talking to this guy.
That's why you deserve that.
I'm not saying I deserve anything. I hate myself more than I hate Nazis, but it felt good to be able to conversate with somebody that wasn't talking about pro wrestling and sugar beets. You know what I mean? Like, it was nice to hear a different perspective. So I felt good about it. And I also think it's important that I want to point out to people that my favorite song is Toots and the Maytals.
I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah, we've been doing like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Well, 28 minutes of it was actually the pre-story to 6ix9ine. So
Man, fuck you. It was a good one.
yeah.
We should thank our sponsors.
Yeah.
We should
Fruit Roll-Ups. I wish they'd sponsor us.
shout out to Fruit Roll-Ups. Shout out to Norte Refresher Health Soft Drink Spot. Norte Refresher Health Drink Spot. Introducing a new kind of soft drink with real fruit juice, 10% of your daily calcium, and only 10 calories in every 8-ounce can. It tastes so good you can feel it in your bones. For a delicious taste with calcium, the only way to go is Norte. Also brought to you by 7-Eleven. It's 2 in the morning. You're starving. Nothing in the fridge. Nothing in the cupboards. You don't even have dog biscuits hanging around. You think about cooking, but then you remember the 3-alarm fire you started last time. Well, check out 7-Eleven. It's got to be the right one near you. And everything from burgers to tacos, 24/7. 7-Eleven. Also brought to you by... Also brought to you by 7-Up. 7-Up plus calcium, introducing a whole new kind of soft drink with real fruit juice, 10% of your daily. It sounds like Norte. Jesus Christ. Yeah. A1 steak sauce.
Of America.
Jesus Christ. Shout out to the Trump 2020 campaign. Keep America great. Because America's
Young
just...
Caucasian Alliance.
Shout out to Amp Energy Drink. Why stop? We all know what roses smell like. Amp Energy Drink from Mountain Dew.
You know, it'd be funny if Bernie Sanders and Trump were having a debate and they both gave each other a fucking aneurysm.
Or if they both just start blowing each other right there and like, bow, chicka, bow. Mr. President,
Yeah. No. All right, that's what's up. Thank you for anybody that actually still listens to us.
Thank you to anybody that still listens to us. It's been
control that gets people banned online.
Basically, I am currently
Our fucking page.
I have 21 days left of my 30-day Facebook ban, but that's because Mark Zuckerberg's wife buys him tampons. So whatever.
Yeah.
Thanks to anybody who's listening. Thanks to our sponsors. I added an email in case you have any questions or concerns or topics you want brought up. We appreciate anybody that listens to us. Thomas is an amazing man. I'm even better than that. Other than that, remember, no matter what happens in life, if you're sitting there and you're surrounded by cops, right, and you don't want to show your ID and you only cracked your windows a little bit, you got an ounce of Coke, some Colombian Bam Bam under your fucking seat, no matter what happens ever in this world, never, ever go quietly. Peace.